What's up? What's up? Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Sunday night. It is Sunday night racing. That's right, front row racing. It's Sunday night. It's time to go do some racing. Here we go, y'all. FRR Racing, the Cup Series, they will be at Kansas tonight. Yes, sir, we are going to be at Kansas. There's no place like home in Kansas, I guess they say, but we'll certainly find out. The guys are qualifying now, so looks like they have a good, solid lobby going up, so they're going to have the qualifying in the lead, right into qualifying, right into the race. So far, so good on the forecast, the future cast for the lagging. So we should be good on that. Knock on wood. Tonight, with me joining in the booth, my usual partner in crime, B Nizzy. He's feeling under the weather tonight. Hope you feel better, Nizzy. Get better, Nizzy. But stepping in his place, somebody who's been here before. You guys know him well, JCR Clashin. What's up? What's going on, Clashin? How you doing tonight, dude?
I'm doing good.
I got you back up here in the booth with me. The first, got you up here a couple of weeks ago. Don't ask me. I can't remember what race it was. I don't. My memory doesn't go back that far. But got you the second time up in the booth. So man, glad to have you. Glad to have you up here, man. Just gonna sit back, chill, relax, kick it, and watch a little bit of FRR Cup racing at Kansas, dude.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Most likely going to be a wild race at Kansas.
Why you think it's gonna be a wild race, huh? You think it's gonna be wild? Why do you think it's gonna be more wild and not follow the leader?
Oh, it's going to be follow the leader, but there's going to be some wild moments for sure.
We if you've been tuned in to these guys at FRR Cup every Sunday night, you would have seen and you would know that they definitely have had some wild racing over the past several weeks. Last week at Dover, man, did you check out that race last week at Dover, Clash?
Yeah, I've seen a little bit. I've seen the ending. We're gonna call out Favre here a little bit, but he choked that win. Yeah, we're just gonna call him out.
Well, he might be in the booth, and he might be back up in the booth before it's all said and done tonight. He's always one of the favorites, so you get to if he comes up in the booth, you have to call him out on completely on that live. I'd like to ruffle a feather or two whenever I can. Um, but but more specifically, as far as the aggressiveness that we saw last week. Last week things got a little bit out of control. There were some penalties sifted out this past week. I know some point penalties and stuff like that got thrown around to some guys. Um, so we have definitely seen some aggressive racing now. They've just finished qualifying, so it looks like they're gonna go. They should be going right straight into the race, which is look like they are. So we're gonna be going racing here in just another 23 seconds or so, and I'll make sure I get you some invites here, Clash. And this they kind of a last minute thing. They know that they didn't know that you're gonna be joining up here with me tonight. Uh, I took my usual nap, and I made my set my alarm. Unlike the other night on Thursday night, where I didn't set the alarm and I slept through the beginning of the daggone race, and one of the most important races of that season. That daggone, that's still gonna get to me, Clash, and that's still burning me up, man.
Yeah, accidentally missing a race it's a bummer.
Well, not just a race, but a race that's a track that's kind of in my wheelhouse. I've been preparing for it all week. It was a playoff race. I was really excited for it and prepared for it, and that just got me. So hopefully these guys are prepared for this race at Kansas tonight. But like you said, man, I mean, I really anticipate a lot of patience actually after the past couple of weeks, the aggressiveness that these guys have had. Good evening, Miss Petro. Miss Petro's tuned in and watching. But I, I don't know. You say it's gonna be a wild race, man. After the past couple weeks of seeing some really, really aggressive and over aggressive racing that we've seen, especially last week at Dover, this race with You know, we were kind of talking in pre-race before we went live, but you said it's very, very hard to pass. And I would think it. I mean, that's even on if you have it on normal draft. Whereas these guys here in front row racing have it on low draft. So just a quick question. Just a quick question from my knowledge more than anything else. Will it make it harder for these guys to pass? Being even, and you said, I mean, it's already hard and difficult to pass at Kansas to begin with. Is it going to make it harder and tougher to pass even with the low fuel, or I mean the low draft compared to normal draft?
Uh, I honestly don't think it'll make a difference. The thing that makes it so tough is usually everyone's at the top, and it's usually not. It's not solo racing, so there's going to be cars all in a line, drafting, working together. And even if you want to pass someone, let's say you're ninth, you're trying to pass the guy in eighth. Even if you send it into the corner on the low side, there might not be room for you to get back up. So
Oh, okay. Well, that definitely that makes that's kind of actually makes a lot of sense. All right, man. They're sending. Let me send you some invites here real quick, Clashing, as they are getting ready to go green here. So let me get you a couple. And of course, you're gonna show offline, aren't you? You're not gonna. You're gonna make it difficult on me. You're gonna make it difficult. No, don't go anywhere now, because I'm almost there. I'm almost all the way down at the bottom now. You already did, you son of a. Now I'm gonna have to go back all the way up. You, come on. There we are. All right, there we go. All right, there's one sent to you. Let me send you a couple more just for shits and giggles and just in case. Come on. Why does it take us so long for it to load up? All right, I'll send you one more just for shits and giggles. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and join on up, and let's catch these guys at Kansas as they are look like they're going green. They're already starting kicking it off. We're going to join in here in just a second. Um, you got the invites I was sending you, Clash. You can join in now.
yep, I'm in.
All right, all right. I should be loaded up here in just a matter of a few seconds. And I'm on True Stream, so I'll be flipping back and forth on streams like I always do, so I can try to get a leaderboard. But here we go. Looks like now we're finally loaded in. Oh, a little bit of contact there. The typical in the 10 car right there in front of True Death. True Death looking to the inside just a little bit. And we are already going green. We're about 3 laps into the race. So, as always, I shall not disappoint. Let's introduce these guys to you as we with these guys to get single file here in a straight line. We got number 10, Typical. There's Typical, the points leader. A Typical in that number 10 car tonight. Next up is Favre Forever, and at number 4, there's Favre. Last week's he should have won that race, coulda, woulda, shoulda, but came in second. But there's Favre in at number 4, running in third spot. True Death in second right now, looking for first. Here's True Death now, looking underneath Typical into turn 3. We're going to keep it here for just a second, and he's going to make the pass and slide job. Here comes Typical, looking at him try to do a crossover. Not going to have any help from Favre. Side by side is Typical going to be able to make the pass going into turn 1. He's not going to be able to clear him. Typical diving down to see he's coming. We're going to see this all night. And now Typical's going to back on up as you go down the backstretch into that draft where, being on low draft, but there is still at least a little bit of draft. As True Death now into the wall, and that's going to lead the entire pack to go around. That included Favre in the number 4, going to take the lead. True Death dropping like a rock right now. He's dropping like a hot rock on a platter. We got Showtime Flash in the 24. There's Flash right there, now riding in the 3rd position. Staggering in the 73. Mr. Consistency himself, being Mr. Consistent already, riding there in the 4th position. 19mm in the 12. There's 9mm. He's looking to have a good solid race tonight. He got he was involved in that incident with Staggering last week. We'll get into that, a little bit of that. So we're gonna have to keep an eye right here, as 9mm is right behind Staggering. Next up is Pittman. Everybody knows Pittman. Everybody knows FedEx. Everybody knows Pittman is in that FedEx Toyota. Next up, Field Filler in the number 5. There's Field in the number 5. He's got some couple wins under his belt. I know he's looking to get back on the winning track. Bad Martin in the 19. There's Bad Martin in that Truex number 19 ride. There he is in that blue. Let's just check in on him real quick. As he's right here riding behind Field Filler, looking right there in the top 10. He's got True Death on his tail. Next up, Mini Golf in the 21. There's Mini Golf. There, he's just been riding along consistent. There's Mini Golf in the 21. Dimebags in the number 1 car. There's Dimebags. Dimebags running mid-pack right now. He's looking to get back up into there. And then we got Death Before Dishonor in the 20. There's Death. Death kind of looks like he's riding in the back here. Started off now. I think, look at that, it's probably a strategy move if anything else. Petro in the number 8. There's Petro. Good to see Petro back out on that track. Want to see him get up towards the front. Like to see that 8 car in the front. Next up, there's Danny MD. The new guy. The new guy to the FRR Cup is just starting his first race tonight in FRR Cup. We had Danny up here in the booth last week as a little treat, as he's gotten the call from Xfinity and Trucks up to Cup, and here he is riding that number 96 Toyota. Good history. That 96. I got good history with that 96 car. So just because of that, I'm a big fan. Of course, I was a fan of Danny always, but there's Danny MD riding that number 96. King G in that number 41. There's King G. He looks like he's holding his own there. Maybe looks like in about the top 10. He's got some. He looks like he's got a mirror full of some company. Swerve in the 43. There's Swerve. Swerve right there in the 43. In that DoorDash machine. He's right here in the thick of things. Right here in the wash a little bit. He's right behind King G in the 41. Some moves being made. Looks like that man Perky was up there. There's Swamp. There's Trinity in the 48. Trinity driving that military green, army green 48. And I like that paint scheme. Good paint scheme. Don't see that enough. J Lamb in the 88. J Lamb said, who needs a sponsor? I don't need no frickin' sponsor. Yeah, Lando, that was a freaking crazy race today. There's Mucka in the number 2. Welcome back, Mucka. Glad to see Mucka back in that number 2. Always loved seeing that number 2 Ford out on the track. And there's Mucka driving it. Next up, Hick Ross in the 18. There's Hick Ross driving that Skittles car. He's at number 18. He refuses to drive that Snickers. That Snickers is too bad luck for him, he says. So he's going to stick in the Snickers in the Skittles car. THC in the number 7. There's THC in the number 7 car. Let me try to speed this up a little bit. KB Showtime in the 38. Last week's winner, Showtime in that 38, won that race on the last lap underneath the Favre. Showtime got his first win of the season last week. Shovelhead in the number 22. There's Shovelhead driving that number 22 car. And then Mac in the 17. There's Mac driving that number 17 car. And it looks like he's doing the same. He's just kind of riding along. Looks like he's using that strategy method Death is using. Perky, that man Perky in a 14 car has had a great season. I'm a big fan of Perky. Should have had a couple wins by now. I mean, he's run great. He was running top 5 the last couple weeks and ended up getting wrecked and taken out in bad misfortune in the last couple laps, past couple races. But he's still going to have try to get that misfortune turned around here a little bit. Look at Perky be there at the end. Trust me on that. Racer Rick in the 34. There's Racer Rick. There's the 34 car in the nice paint scheme tonight. I know Racer Rick, man. He's not happy with the way his season's going. He's trying to turn that bad boy around. And there's our lineup for tonight as we get back up to the front here with Typical and Favre and Flash, Staggering, 9mm. They're all up here battling here real quick. Typical right now has got Staggering. Danny is doing awesome. We just introduced Danny. He is just hanging back right now. We're going to get to him in just a moment there, Lando, but he's doing great in that 96 Toyota tonight. Right now we got Favre back up here, so somebody just snuck through the door. What's going on, B Nizzy?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
How you feeling tonight, man? You feeling better?
Yeah, a little better. Good enough to be here, so can't complain. If I'm here, I'm here.
There we go. All right, Clashing. So we got some time in. These guys got a little bit of a wear on their tires now. So we're gonna start to see things kind of heat up, or is things gonna kind of ramp down a little bit and getting a single file like we're starting to see?
Well, I think pit stops should be coming up here in about 4 to 5 laps, maybe less. So they should be starting to calm down a little bit with these pit stops.
Yeah, I wonder what pit road is probably gonna be busy here really soon. I'm not sure what the I'll have to look on the screen.
True got into the wall and someone got loose.
And trooping into the wall here, that wouldn't be his first time. He was up here leading just not too long ago when he got into the wall and dropped like a hot rock. Looks like way back into the mid-pack. He's back here battling with Bad Martin in the 19. Field Filler in the 5, and Mini Golf also right hot on his tail. Back up here in the front, checking in with the front guys. Favre in the lead with Flash in second. Typical going way low. Or is that just signal for a pit? I think that's going to be signal for pit. Yeah. Typical always tries to... He definitely always likes to hear he comes down. He definitely always wants to be the first one to pit. I always ask myself, because you see some guys that always want to be the first one to pit, and then you have guys that want to be the last one to pit. What do you prefer?
Depends where I'm at. I mean, I like both. Usually, at a track like Kansas, I want to be the last one to pit at Kansas. Because tires matter in Kansas.
Right. As the leaders now making their... The leaders now, the top 4 leaders coming down pit road. Yeah, we did start a little early, Nezzy, actually. Because there was worry about the lag issue.
That's what I figured.
And they were having issues with the lagging, with qualifying, and then they got fortunate and got a lobby that they were able to get straight through qualifying, and then they go straight, as you know, they go straight into the race. So yeah, they're able to get it kicked off here a few minutes early.
Yeah, I figured they were trying to beat the leg. Sorry for my silence. I'm still trying to figure out what's going on here. Kind of joined a little late, so just cycling through, see where guys are.
Well, it couldn't be any better if you're not fashionably late there, Nezzy.
Oh yeah, you know I like to make appearances.
Yeah, you got to be fashionably late. Speaking of late, some of these guys are being late coming in the pit stop, some of these guys they're hauling out a lot, taking it all the way to the end. I kind of like that idea too, Clashing, man. On the track like this, if I can take that fuel all the way to and run that thing dry before I can pit, that's kind of what I like to do, especially early in the run. As we got a battle right here. Mucka in the 2, Hickross in the 18. This is mid-pack.
Well, maybe not.
We got Shovelhead in the 22, J-Land right there in the 88. True Death coming up. He's going to have something to say about that. This is all right behind Pittman in the 11 car, but guys kind of gets wriggled in here as Pittman, he's starting to merge. He's going to merge with these guys as well. And right now, Favre in the 4 car still... There's Favre. Favre still being scored our leader. and checking in. And Death Before Dishonor, he might not want to look now, but he might not want to look at all. But if he were to look in his rearview mirror, he's starting to see this 4 car get closer and closer to put him a lap down.
Death have an issue early in the race? Or?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all. I mean, I don't know if he got caught up in anything or not, or he was just kind of cruising, or if something's going on, or if he's having a technical issue. But very uncharacteristic to see Death Before Dishonor kind of being.
He's had a lot of bad luck this year. He's had some chances to have some top 3, maybe even a couple wins, but it seems like he gets caught up in something, or a few times we've seen his car be just a little bit off to where he, gets a little loose towards the end of the run and loses positions. So,
well, Death has been one of those.
About what, halfway? Nah, we're not halfway through the season yet, right?
No, we're not halfway through the season.
Not even close.
They run the full. They run the full NASCAR season here, so we got all spring, all summer to go. Just checking in on Danny real quick. There's Danny right there as he's coming up to this pack. This bee's nest, the wash is what I call it. I always call it the wash because once you get into that, either you're going to come out clean or you're going to come out dirty, but you're going to come out of it one way or the other.
I'm watching this 88 of J-Lam. He talk about squirrely. He looks like he's just a little bit loose.
Yep,
and he's in this pack of cars here.
That's exactly where Matt is.
He looks like he's doing everything he can to hold it together here around these guys.
I tell you what, Danny's got a pretty good car. And I can tell that because Danny's holding a nice sight line. I'm on his roof right here behind Perky, following that 88 True Death. Looks like Shovelhead up there, Hick Ross. Following this group of cars right here. And, I mean, he looks like he pulls right up to where it's handling good in the draft. But right now, he knows he's being patient in what he wants to do. I mean, where's he going to go right now? He's got True Death and Perky side by side going into turn 1, 2x2. Hick Ross now under J-Lam right in front, so there's really not much where he can go. He's trying to be patient here, as he's now going to go to the outside of True Death, use the draft. Great move on Danny's part on picking up that position. You're going to keep an eye on that 96 there, man. I don't know if you remember it, Clashing, that 96, somebody up in this booth used to drive that 96 at one, a long time ago, once upon a time.
I don't even know who used to drive the 96.
That was me.
You used to drive the 96?
Yeah. When I first met you, I was in a 96. The very first car I drove in the FTO when I first joined the league was the FTRB league, and the only thing that was available was the 96. So I jumped into 96, and that was the first car I ever drove in league.
Ooh, 48. 48 got the wall, sorry.
Yep,
Cut you off. 48 got the wall there off the exit 4.
That's Trinity in that 48. Oh, and he makes contact with the 11, coming back down a little bit. No harm, no foul. And these guys are bunched up here as Trinity in that 48, trying to get his momentum back. Danny now in that draft, going to give him a push and give him that little push that he needs. Got a nice pack of cars right here. These guys have been kind of fighting it out and duking it out pretty well here, keeping on Danny. Danny's right here in the middle of this. Danny's got a good car. Watch that number 96, guys. I guarantee he's got a good car. He's going to get up there very patiently, but I guarantee you, we're not done seeing that 96 car tonight.
Come on, that 88. He looks fast. He looks a little loose, but we know loose is fast, and he's kind of he's doing a good job. It looks like he's not exactly, I don't want to say struggling, but it looks like he's having to really work to keep that thing in line. But he's kind of picked a few guys off here. He's towards the front of this pack now. Went from about the middle of the pack to the front of the pack. So he's, everyone's tires start to wear here, I think the 88 is really being the beneficiary of it in this pack. He's been really patient. The car's been a little bit of funky lines with him. He's kind of going down and up, but he's holding it together, and he's just riding right now. And he's all over that 22 bumper.
So we're looking back up here as we have a battle up here as typical got around staggering, which they're right in front of Death Before Dishonor. And riding with Favre. Favre has a little company of his own in the form of that 24 car. Look at this, Clashing.
Yeah, they've been riding behind each other for about 8 laps or so now.
Yep.
But I don't know if Flash is going to be able to pass him. It's going to be tough.
Well, since we got a good battle between two top dogs here, two of your good buddies, let's get into some picks, guys. We haven't gotten any picks. We're still in stage one, so we got to get into picks. Clash, and you are our special guest tonight, so that leaves the first pick to you. So who do you got tonight? I know you got a lot of good old friends up in here. You got Favre and Typical and Flash and Field Filler and a couple other guys, man. Who are you going with tonight in this race? Your number one pick, and then we'll get to a dark horse afterward.
I'm going to go Flash again.
You're going Flash. Okay. Damn, can't go wrong with that pick. That's a safe pick. All right, Nesby, you know I always let you go first. Who you got tonight?
Oh, man, I don't know. I looked at some practice times the other day, and then I got sick and forgot all about it. So right now, I'm distracted right now because I'm looking at this 22 and 8 battling hard right now for the lead of this pack back here. They keep crossing each other over, and now it's letting that whole pack. It's getting really racy back here. So 22, maybe a little contact 88, no harm. But pick. You know what? I'm gonna go 3's on my screen right now as he gets in the mix of this little battle. I'm gonna go with True Death for my pick. And I think I've pretty much alluded to who I think my dark horse is going to be, but I'll confirm it when you bring that up.
All right, well,
but I'm watching them now.
We'll get to the dark horses in just a second. Just before Dishonor coming down pit road, and I just saw it. I'm not sure exactly what happened as I switched the screens, but Danny was up here with this group of cars here, this Hornet's Nest right up here, and then all of a sudden I just saw him get lapped by the leaders. So something happened. I don't know if you guys saw it or not. If he got loose off the corner or something happened, but he definitely got he was here 1 minute and in another place the next. But yeah, man, we got a heck of a battle going on here.
Yeah, we're at 2 to go.
2 to go?
2 to go from stage.
Oh, True Death. 22 got the wall, clip True Death, and True Death goes flying through the grass. They're going to hold it straight, though. True Death's going to lose a lot of spots, though, at this stage end because of that.
Oh, Flash is making his move. And he can't.
Yeah, True Death was right there with the 22. 22 clipped the wall coming out of 4 and came back down, just barely touched True Death, and True Death went for a ride through the grass. So lost a few spots there for 3. Kind of where we picked off last week, right? With Favre and Showtime up front.
1 second, guys. I had to take a quick commercial break on myself real quick.
It's like Typical 3rd, Stagger in 4th, and 1 9mm 5th. And you got Golf Pro, Bad Martin, Field Filler, Dime Bags, and Shovelhead round out the top 10. Seems like we got a lot of guys as the tires wear throughout the run. Seems like a lot of guys, that car comes in, then it goes away a bit, then it comes back. Just a guess from what I was watching with that pack of drivers there. A lot of swapping for position. Staggering, trying to squeeze himself in there. I don't know if he got on the screen. He does, but he did it forcefully.
All right, I'm back. I apologize, y'all. I just had to step out for just a second. And look at, of course, I had to step out for just a second, and I missed the end of the stage. So perfect time for everything, anyway. But anyway, all right.
That's
So we're
all right.
starting.
Last week I was talking about hockey while they were racing for a stage win, so it could be worse. Ain't it?
Oh,
Oh,
they're wrecking
oh,
it.
back in the
Wrecking.
back, big wreck in the back, big wreck going on. Or did they say nope? They're spinning back in the back. The 96. It looks like the 96 of Danny is in it. The 48 of Trinity is in it. There's Death Before Dishonor. He's in it big time. Heavy damage to the 20 of Death Before Dishonor.
We're going to blame the 88 for that.
The 88? Okay.
The 88.
Yeah,
What happened?
Earlier in the run before, I didn't see it, but early in the run I mentioned that 88 just looks a little loose, and then it seems like he gets the car under him after a few laps. But yeah, he's been kind of moving side to side, not really able to hold the lane
He was
perfectly.
on the inside coming off a 2, so he might have got loose, but on my screen he just turned straight right. So he could have been just loose and sideways and tried to save it and just
Overcorrected.
oversteered.
Yeah. I gotta say, I've been guilty of that once or twice or 4 or 5 times.
The one car looks like he stayed out.
Oh boy. I don't know about.
This could get interesting here.
Yeah, Dimebag's in the one. I don't know if that was a
He might
plan or.
have forgotten
No,
'cause
he's pulling
going
off.
low.
He's
Yeah, he
pulling
might have
off.
just missed
So, yeah, he missed the time. He missed pit road on the caution. So he's going to he's going to drop back to the back. That's going to hurt because he's going to lose all that momentum. He's going to lose the draft. And on top of that, he still has to pit. So big mistake on Dimebag's part with that.
They only ran about a lap, so there's not much of a penalty for missing pits.
Yeah,
A wrecking again.
Oh, big wreck. The 14's gone around. Big wreck. The 14 collects the 20. Death Before Dishonor. The 8, the 7 got caught up in it. The 14 and the 48 spins around. Another big wreck. And as we've seen last week, cautions breed cautions. And there they go again. I just missed it. I know the broadcast said that started in a tri-oval. I think somebody got pinched a little too low, got into the grass of the tri-oval, and kind of elbowed their way back up onto the track, and they sure elbowed their way. I'm not sure who it was, but that's what it kind of looked like was going on, and then all of a sudden all heck broke loose.
Settle down, boys.
Let's see. I mean, this track is really known for getting strung out, and not a lot of shenanigans really. But I don't know. We're gonna stack it up here as
Top 4 stayed out.
yeah, typical. He stayed out with looks like is that Hickross and the 18 on the outside. Yep, that's the 18 of Hickross stuck on the outside. The 11, he's going to make his move up underneath. That's Pittman in the 11, as he's fighting for second now. As they're 2x2 behind typical. There's Swerve in the 43 and a 43. Swerve, is he going to make it 3 wide coming off of turn 4? Thought better of it. Made a good decision there. Got out of the line. As the draft now carries to the top side. Favre kind of stuck right here behind J-Lam, not without much nowhere to go. Flash is behind J-Lam, or they're both behind J-Lam rather. Hickross right there in the second position, having a great run. Checking back here with Pittman in the 11 car. As he kind of fell back, he made the move, and I mean, kind of saw that we were talking about earlier there, Clash, and he made that move to go underneath, and like you said, man, it is so tough to pass. It was like as soon as he went to the bottom, he like hit a wall and just lost all of his momentum.
Favre got back to P2, looks like.
Back up here. Back up to the front here. Let's check out with the front.
Car's going away.
as Favre looking his move on the outside of the 18 as he's got some help with Flash. Flash giving him the draft. So Hickross now drops back as J-Lamb now gets underneath of him. That is for 4th position. J-Lamb comes up, completes the pass. Oh, it clips his nose, chopped him his nose just a hair, but just enough to get him in the wall, and now he's going to lose a ton of positions as he's lost all that momentum. J-Lamb thought that he was clear, and he wasn't. That is going to be blamed on the 88 spot.
Oh, there's a big wreck off of 2.
Big wreck.
It'll most likely be a caution. No?
Yep, the 14 got in it. They're still green, though.
Yeah.
They're still green, guys.
I don't know if I'd fully put that on the 88, Shady. I don't know. I see
Well,
what
I
you're
was
saying,
right on.
but-
I was right on him. I was right on that car of
Well, it was a
Hickross.
slide job. It was a slide job.
And he
but
came up, and
it's kind of the only way you're going to pass here. Now,
true, but
18,
you got to be clear. You got to be
18
clear.
has a choice there to lift, and he don't have to lift. If you're going to slide job someone, you don't have to. The guy getting slide job is well within his rights to keep it in the throttle, but he chose to keep it in the throttle, it looked like, and kind of got into the wall. I would kind of say, I'd say 75% put it on the 88, but 25% 18. 18 had a chance to lift, and he didn't.
Okay, I understand. But
Yeah,
here's
that's
now
just
the
my
18.
opinion, but to me, that's
18,
racing.
18 just sending it underneath the 21 in mini golf here. No help or nothing. Try to send it underneath. That's going to loosen some more spots because he's now out of the draft as Pittman is going to use that spot to go around. Kind of like the reverse that you see of Talladega and Daytona, where one guy gets caught up high and the line goes underneath of him. Now we're seeing here that guys are getting caught on the low side and everybody's going outside of them. Is that kind of what you're seeing too, Clashing? It's kind of like the draft is almost the reverse of what you would see at Talladega and Daytona a little bit.
Yeah, Kansas is even in real life, you want to be at the top of Kansas. It's just
Right.
a one groove track. I mean, you can use the bottom if you want. You just gotta commit, because if you don't commit, you're gonna lose a lot of spots.
Just like at Talladega and Daytona, where you have to commit to that top side. Huh. Well, we just figured a little niche out with Kansas. Riding
You
here
gotta
with
get
her.
creative here. I mean, it's kind of a one groove track, but also I want to see some guys, if anybody can get their car working in that, about a groove down from that third line. Because it can, if you can run it the right way, you can kind of get down like 2.5 lanes. Especially, I think, I'm trying to remember correctly, I think it's turn 1 and 2. Where you can get, I'm pretty sure turn 1 and 2, if you can get it just a little bit lower, you can still get that momentum and still have a really good corner and maybe even make some passes on it. Right now, guys are content to just ride that high line, though, it looks like, and try to... It's hard, because you got these guys stacked up, so you don't want to... if you're going to pass somebody, the safe bet here is to try to get that run, dive it down low, and try to come up with enough room. But I think as we get longer into this race, you'll see some more aggressive passes where guys try to, maybe we can get like a side draft on entry and try to hold it there. And I don't want to say pinch them up against the wall, but you know what I mean? Kind of keep it in that lane lower. I haven't really seen that. Most of the passes we've seen attempted so far, I feel like guys are just driving it down to the yellow line and trying to slide up.
All right, well, back up here in the top three, that's just kind of following the top three. These guys are hooked together because I still haven't given my pick. And you kind of made it difficult for me, Nizzy, because I was expecting you to go with Favre because Clashing went with Flash. I was expecting you to go with Favre, which would have made the easy pick for me to pick Typical. Now, with you going with True Death and leaving Favre and Typical on the board, I mean, neither one of them can be considered a dark horse, so you can only pick one of them.
Every week, people are going to start, what's the point of making picks if I'm going to take the same guy every week? I'm going to take him next week, probably, because I didn't take him this week.
I'm going to go with the 4-2 just because of last week. Losing that race and losing that lead to KB Showtime. in the last lap and not getting his 4th win of the season. I think he's got to get that taste out of his mouth. So I think he's going to have a little extra motivation in that 4 car tonight. I'm going with Favre as my main pick. So let's get to a couple of dark horses here. All right, Clash, you're up. Dark horse, give it to me. What you got?
The 22.
The 22. All right, I like it. I like it. Why?
Why?
What do you see in that 22?
I like his paint scheme, so that helps. And it's also the only person I really know, so we're gonna go with the 22.
Okay. Shovelhead in the 22. Let's go to Shovelhead. Let's check in on Shovelhead. Where's Shovelhead at?
He's like 5th. He was trying to pass for 4th, but he got stuck on the bottom, so he could be losing some spots.
And he's right here underneath a Swerve in the 43 and right behind KB Showtime, last week's winner. The Shovelhead making that bottom work. He gets, and Joe didn't clear the 43, but he didn't come up all the way. Good job on the 22's part. That's a solid, good solid dark horse, man. I like that one. I like that one. All right, Nezzy, you said you had a dark horse. Who you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with that 88 Jalen. I think
the 88, okay.
Yeah, like I said, I think he's got a fast piece. I think I might have commentated, jinxed him a little bit. We've seen him have a little bit of issues. I think, like I said, I think he's trying to keep the car under him, have control of it, but I think if he can get it figured out, maybe a few adjustments, I think he's got a fast car.
All right, well, I like it. He said he's so fast tonight. He doesn't need. Who needs no sponsor? He don't need no sponsor. I don't need no sponsor. He's so fast. He's so fast. He peeled them all off. Look at that. Well, there's J Lamb in the 88. All right, for my my dark horse, I got to go with that 14. That Perky. He's been so close so many times. He was riding second or third Talladega and got taken out. And then I think last week he was right up there in the top 5 and got taken out right there at the end. Perky is right there. He's like my silent assassin, I think. He always, is quiet, moves on up there, and you don't see or hear much of him, but there he is at the end. And keeps his car clean, which he's, the old-fashioned is, right, Clash? If you keep the fenders clean, you're gonna, you should have yourself a pretty good race if you're keeping the car clean, and that's what he does every single week, is keep that car clean.
Looks like Flash is gonna have the lead here by about a second and a half to 2 seconds.
Flash out. Where are we at so far? Just coming out of pit road.
Could be 10 to go.
So Typical has yet to come down pit road.
Typical he pitted with Flash.
Okay. I was checking in here, looking with True Death and 9mm as they were doing some battle back here mid-pack. That was for 14th position. Checking in with Flash. Here's Flash here. He's got himself way out in front of Typical. As right now, Dimebag's in the 1 car being scored the leader, but obviously Dime hasn't come in to make his pit stop yet, but Dimebags is being scored the leader. As here he is making his signal now, so he's signaling to come down pit road now as Hick Ross and Swerve go around him to get his lap back.
So I'm going to assume Typical is going to let Favre go here. It looks like he's letting Favre go.
And he goes to the bottom. He gives him the whole top.
Favre is the only one that was able to take low fuel there since they pitted 2 laps sooner. Favre only took just enough to make it to the finish, so he'll be running Probably about a tenth and a half quicker than the leaders.
Right now, riding on Favre, and Favre has just left typical in the 10 in the dust. Favre has now just put, I mean, the throttle all the way through the floor. At Braden Martin, Braden Martin has go dad. And let's check in with Bad Martin.
Bad Martin is in the middle of this pack that we, just like in the first stage, these guys are pretty evenly matched, and they're really racy back here.
Yeah, they
12,
are.
8, Trudet's in the mix. I saw 3 wide a few times in the last few laps. And these guys are just, now they're kind of spread out a little bit.
He's right here behind Mini Golf in the 21 and Pittman in the 11. Looks like those guys are trying to form up a little bit as that looks like he's got King G. Is that King G out in front of them? So they are kind of getting single file a little bit and getting the draft working, but there's Bad Martin in the 19. Having a good run tonight so far. Good consistent run in that 19 as he's looking to follow that 11 car as the 21 makes a move and goes underneath a Pittman. Bad Martin going to stay up top and stay in the top lane as big move. Look at that. That was a kind of a power move on the 21's part, but came up and made the pass on Pittman. Completed a slide job in turn 2, all by himself without the help of the draft or anybody giving a push. Bad Martin was actually behind the 11 of Pittman when Bad Martin went around. Now it's reversed as Pittman underneath of Mini Golf, and here comes the 22, going to make it 3 wide. There's plenty of room. Oh, and the 11 touches into the 21 and back around he goes. The 21 hit off the wall. Great job on the 21's part by keeping it up on the wall and not ricocheting down in front of the pack of cars.
Got 2 to go. And looks like Favre is passing Flash.
Yep, so 2 laps left.
Oh, show Flash trying to the inside here on the backstretch.
It's going to be tough.
Yep. Kenny Snell doesn't have a little bit of contact.
Yep. And it's Favre. Man, Favre is on it. As I had the camera on him, and he was in between Flash and Typical, and now he's way out in front of Flash. I mean,
yeah, well, Flash, they got into each other there. Flash tried to make it stick, and Flash, I think Flash definitely lifted because they made some contact in the middle of the corner, and Flash just dropped back like a rock after that. So he definitely lifted from that contact.
Favre gets sweeps the stages, gets stage 1 and stage 2. Let's see if I can get a top 10 here real quick. If my phone wants to work with me or not and give me a clear screen so I can see the running order here.
That's perfect example of give and take right there. Favre got into the 24 a little bit. 24 was trying to. He was right in that low, right under him, and he was trying to come up. Didn't quite have enough room. Favre had a little bit of room between him and the wall, and it was very incidental contact. But Showtime, we've seen Favre give guys a lot of room all the time. And when you do that, sometimes it comes back to you. And right there, Showtime Flash, I think, would have been well within his rights to hold his ground there. But he didn't. He backed out of it. Didn't want to ruin both of their stages. And, you know, that's just a perfect example of give and take right there.
Well,
Drive people clean, you get driven clean.
It was Favre in first, Flash in second, Typical in third, Shovelhead in fourth, and then KB Showtime in fifth, with Pittman in sixth, Bad Martin seventh, Mucka in eighth, 9mm in ninth, Staggering in 10th, True Death was 11th, Jay Landner in 12th, Mini Golf in 13th, Racer Rick in 14th, and Field Filler is in 15th. All of them are on the lead lap. And that was the end. That was the final results of stage 2. So now we are in stage 3. So now is when, if you got it, now is the time that you're going to want to show it. Well, trying to check the screen here and see where we are at on the screen. We got a good view here of True Death. Oh, and Mucka gets up into the wall right in front of True Death. True Death was able to get underneath of him just in time. Mucka lost 2 spots on that.
Oh, Typical into the wall.
Typical. That is not typical of Typical. Very rare mistake on his part. As you can see, there's the interval now between he and Flash and Favre. Now, with the low draft clashing, as we see it here, with Flash and Favre tucked in that tight draft, will they be able to pull away from Typical? Or do you think Typical will be able to drag him back down?
I think if he doesn't make any mistakes, he's still in range to catch him. But he's going to have to really push.
Riding with him now, he's kind of right there, but because it's almost that if with Flash and Favre, how hooked up those two guys are, if they're able to stay hooked now, Typical is able to close right back up on him. So Typical did wheel him right back in. And he's trying to bring that 22 with him. 22 in Shovelhead with him. Back here a little bit in the back.
Yeah, these guys are...
Field
trying
Filler.
to wreck.
Yeah, you're looking at the same thing I'm feeling with
laps.
Field Filler now under Staggering. King G now, he's getting in a position. Now they're getting squirrely in here.
Staggering has been all over the back bumper of that 12 since the beginning of this race. Since I joined. He keeps getting runs on him, and he ain't lifting when he gets to that bumper. It's cost him a bit a couple times. About a lap or two ago, he got into his bumper, had to lift, and got the wall, and then that stacked him in the 2 and the 14 up. He's just been ping-ponging a little bit. Nothing crazy, just... I'm interested watching this 73 and this 12 all race. They're driving each other very aggressively. I'm not sure if there was something in the past, but...
You don't remember last week?
Was that what happened last week?
Yeah, that was
happened last week.
Yeah, that was the incident between the 12 and the 73.
Well, that explains it.
Yeah, when they got in that incident and the 73, drove up to his door there in turn 1, and
that's right.
He was complimenting the 12 on his mother's cookies. Remember?
Yes, I remember.
Yes. So they have history.
That makes sense. I was wondering.
They have history.
Not over aggressive. It's just very aggressive.
And here comes the 73 now. Underneath of the 12, the 12 looked like he scraped the wall
just a little.
Yep, and opened up the door just enough. Oh, and he has just completed a slide job. And that was he thought he just cleared it just enough.
He did clip him though and kind of put him in the wall
but like you said on the other one,
doesn't lose much ground.
Right, I mean the 12, he already knew he lost the position. I think there's no harm, no foul there. I think that was clean. And I mean, Clash, and you said how hard it is to pass here, man. I mean, you're gonna. I mean, it's almost. if you're going to pass, you're going to almost make a little bit of contact. I mean, incidentally, right?
I mean, the goal is to just full send it and then get in front of them and then make them ram you. Like that's the goal. Because if they don't hit you, then they can just easily go by you again. You gotta try to pass them. But the goal is to get in front of them and kind of brake check them. Because if you don't get on the brakes, you're just gonna hit the wall in front of them. And if you go in too slow, you're not gonna ever clear them. And they're just gonna get around you on the outside, or you dwarf them into the wall, which is even worse. It's very hard to pass here. It's tough.
I wonder
And
if
I think what I was saying earlier is kind of playing out. You know, remember I was saying we saw guys giving a lot of space on these passes, going all the way to the yellow line and trying to slide it up, and if it didn't work, then they would kind of just be smart about it, let them have it, and try again. Now we're seeing these guys really try to keep it up there on these passes and slide right up in front of them with not barely any room. You know, guys aren't. Man, I'm really off tonight. I don't even know how to finish my sentences, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, right now, the 10 is getting oh, the 3 up into the wall.
24 got in the wall too.
Oh, here we go, guys. Now the 10 came down to the 19.
Typical door to 19.
Yeah, typical. Didn't see the 19 there. The 19's all right. Regaining himself. The 10's going to lose a lot there. You're right. The 10 just didn't see the 19 coming. That's another racing incident. I think it's a no harm, no foul. I was right on the 19 when the 10 came down. Did not. I mean, completely unintentional. But the 10 car now really is going to be in a spot. Let's check where the 10 and 20. The 20 of Death Before Dishonor making a pit stop. I think that's a little bit early. Where's that 10 car? There's 10 of Typical. And Typical ended up wrecking.
Yeah, he got the worst end of that.
He got the big time worst end of it. He is all the way back now. And by himself and running not nearly at top speed, he's got some terrible damage. And we've still got plenty of racing left. We've still got about another 40 laps left. Checking up back here in the front. There's that 22. The 22 car. I can get up to him. There he is. A shovelhead in the 22. Right there running in third place with KB Showtime, last week's winner in fourth, and Bad Martin in fifth. Bad Martin having a great run tonight, guys. Running in top 5. He hasn't run top 5 really all season, but here he is, finding himself in 5th position right now in Kansas in stage 3. He's having a great run tonight.
He survived getting doored there on the... I guess it was, which car got loose? We had that issue a few laps ago.
It was Typical.
It was the 10. Yeah. I didn't want to say it because I thought it was a 10, and then I saw the 3 red cars, and I didn't want to say the wrong person, but yeah. Typical got loose, and on his way back, he came down, and the 19 got doored and almost wrecked and was able to hold it straight.
Yeah. He did a
great job, but he's making it up right now.
Yeah, he is. He's
right
just
there.
just sniffing the draft of these guys. KB Showtime, last week's winner, right there riding in 4th position. Another good run for KB Showtime. And, KB Showtime, I mean, you know that he wants this win just as bad, if not worse, than last week's win. Because he wants to show and prove that last week's win was no fluke. Favre didn't just give it to him.
17's wrecking and he had to stop. The 17 just, whoa, man. 17 was wrecking. He got it. This is a lap ago this started. And the 17 is still wrecking. He got the 1. If I'm the 1, I'm hot right now.
The 17
was wrecking for almost a lap and was still wrecking when I cycled back around to him and the 1 got taken out from him. Yeah, 17 got the wall and I think he might have had help. So he probably wasn't exactly in a all right, I got the wall.
They're wrecking
again.
Oh wait,
that's the 18.
And the 24 and the 22. Maybe Favre lagged.
Oh boy, we got big shit going on here now, guys. Oh man, 1 for the swear jar there. but we got big issues going on. I mean, I don't know if there was a lag going on that caused it, but we've got caution is
Oh no,
out.
the 18 was parked on top of the track, right in front of the leaders, and all the leaders hit him. So
Okay,
that
that's
was
what
on
I
the
said.
18.
I said the 18 was spun, and I had it on the 18, and then when Nizzy was talking about the 17, I switched on back
The
to go into
18 was the
17.
one who was wrecking with the 17. I think the 18 pinched the 17 a little to start it, and the 17 lost control. And then I tried to switch over to see the result, but it took me about 10 seconds to catch back up with 17. He was still wrecking. And that's when I saw him hit the wall again and get in the dime bags. Dime bags spun out. But yeah, I'm 99% sure the 18 was the one involved in the start of it. So that would make sense.
The 18, when I had it on the 18, switching through, the 18 was sideways, caught on that where the banking meets the apron, that seam right there where that joint, that seam, where on the yellow line where the apron meets the banking, he was kind of stuck there. You know how your car kind of gets on one half on each, and you're kind of just stuck there, on the angle. It was kind of like that. And if he wasn't ghosted as a 17 now up into the wall, things getting squirrely back here, guys. They're running 3 or 4 wide here, getting ready to go into turn 1.
Dimebag's in the middle, and I don't know how happy he is right now.
And same with Typical. Riding with Typical is right behind Dimebags, and also the 22 of Shovelheads back here. Looks like the 12 of 19 millimeter. There's the 12 of 19. He's up in this. Field Filler gets out of the throttle. Field Filler says, enough of this. I'm done. No sirree. He backs out of that traffic, that hornet's nest. G Petro in the 8 looks like he got real loose coming off of turn 4. Maybe he made contact with a little bit of wall, and the guys kind of got scattered off of that. Dimebags in the 1, as well as J-Lam in the 88 went scattering. Back up here, Favre now looking to try to get around staggering. This is for 6th position. As right now, our leader is, I believe, that 34 car of Racer Rick. Racer Rick in the 34, our current leader, right now being scored the leader. Pittman in 2nd. So, and this all happened because that caution came out when pit stops were being made. So Racer Rick had to have been the biggest benefit of that, because he was pitted at the right time to where he completed his pit stop, came out when everybody else had to pit, and is now on the pit schedule with everybody, but received all those positions because everybody had to pit when that caution came out. Just the timing of it. And now we see Pittman and Swerve in the 43 look to go under and make the pass. Pittman makes the pass, completes the slide job. Oh, off the wall! Back into Swerve.
If I'm Favre, I'm terrified right now.
Yeah. Well, what do you do if you're Favre at this point? your bet is
Just give
made.
the guy in front of you a lot of room. I wouldn't trust any of these guys to stay off the wall. Oh, we got a caution.
Oh boy, what happened there?
I don't see any wrecks. It must have been just
Typical's
like a
coming
solo
down.
spin.
Now this is strange because Typical's in pit road, guys. Typical came down pit road. The caution is out. Typical's car just rolled down pit road. I'm not seeing what's going on. Now, Pittman in the 11 car is probably punching and screaming because he finally got the lead, and the pit sequences were on his side, and now everything's going to be thrown out of whack because of this caution, which Perky, that man Perky is in the 23rd position, and he's the lucky dog. So we now have 23 cars back on the lead lap. Perky in the 14 got the lucky dog. So here comes on the green. Typical going to start on green because he was in the pit. Just exactly what happened to Racer Rick. He went in the pits at the perfect time when a caution came out. so he starts in front, Pittman in second, Racer Rick there in third, and that couldn't have worked out any better if you're typical, guys. I mean, gee whiz.
It's a little sus. Yeah, how did he went into pit road and people wrecked? I don't know why he was in pit road, but he probably does.
Well, I don't know. I mean, because it's in-game cautions now, the manual cautions have been taken out, so the game automatically puts the cautions out. But I mean, if he had that kind of ESP to where he knew those guys were going to crash and had that perfect amount of time to run down, jump on the pit road, pretty impressive. They're pretty lucky. Okay. But either way, it worked out for him like a champ, because now he's out here in front, kind of pulling away between Racer Rick and Pittman, who are now in second. Favre is right behind Pittman here in fourth position, as he's trying to get around Racer Rick and Pittman, and he's got Swerve and Mini Golf behind him. I don't think we're done seeing that 24 car either, guys. I think we're going to see that 24 car before it's said and done. All right, here comes Favre underneath the 11 car. It's only a matter of time. He was waiting to pick and choose, and gets underneath of the 11. Oh, and coming off of 2. Came right up into the draft. Now, Hurricane Hall is calling... is making the 24 the winner. Hurricane Hall says Flash, and the 24 is going to be the winner of this thing. I don't know.
Flash was a long way to go. He got the worst end of when that 18 was parked in the track.
Yeah, here's Flash here. Let's check in with Flash. He's running mid-pack. Was he about, looks like maybe about 9th, 10th position. He's right behind KB Showtime and in front of J-Lam. He's got some making up to do. Yeah, he looks like he's about 10th or 11th position in Flash.
He's going to need some wrecks and some cautions.
And he might just get it as this kind of goes on. Alright, well, let me ask you, Flash, and if you're Flash, and you're running right there in 10th, 11th, whatever, and you know you got a top 3 car, easy. I mean, you got a car that compete with Favre and Typical, you already know that. Are you, what are you doing here? Are you still just kind of using the pit strategy?
I think pit strategies is only hope. I think they're all going to have to pit here with like 4 to go. So tires are going to be very close. I don't think any of the leaders are going to be able to take no tires. But if Favre goes slow enough, he might, not Favre, Flash. If Flash goes slow enough, he might be able to take no tires.
Let's see if we can get a lap count. I'm not sure how many laps
we have 14 to go.
No, we don't have that. Yeah, we are. We're 14 to go. How about that? Okay. Man, they're picking them up and laying them down quick.
All them cautions is helping.
I didn't think we had that many.
Nah, only like 3. That's not too many.
It's just kind of it just seems like an early night.
Favre's in the best spot because Typical usually doesn't have a very good long run car. He's been getting really loose on that seam once we get past 15 laps in a run. But I believe they are teammates, so maybe they'll work together until the pit stops. Who knows?
I want to check in with the new guy, Danny, real quick. We're in the last part of stage 3. Here's Danny. He's been making his first appearance in FRR Cup in that 96 car. Toyota, so he's on Team Toyota. As he had a pretty good car. I think he's just trying to stay out of everybody's way, kind of, play the part, so to speak. Kind of. We'll look to see Danny get.
I know what he's doing.
I know what he's doing too. But yeah, we're gonna have another caution before this is all set. So we got about 12 to go, and waiting to see these guys make some ready to pit, but right now, so typical. Yes, you're right. I won't say the C word, the caution word.
Hey, the leaders are about a lap and a half short on fuel right now. I don't know if they allow fuel saving in this league anymore, but someone's going to be able to make it. You might get a surprise winner here.
You're allowed, well, fuel saving goes like this. In the first stage, you're allowed to save one lap. In the second stage, you're allowed to save 1 lap. In the third stage, you're allowed to save 3 laps. So you are allowed to save 3 laps, but I don't know how you can kick it in a fuel gear, and because I mean, you kick it in a fuel gear, you're just going to get past. I mean,
if you're in the draft, you'll be able to keep up easily in a fuel gear. Like, I don't think Favre is going to pass Typical because he's a lap short of fuel.
Well, he also knows that with Typical's burning more fuel out front. Typical's got to keep that thing to the floor, whereas Favre has probably got a half throttle, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, Favre is lifting very early, half throttle. Typical has no choice. I mean, unless he drops and lets Favre go by him on purpose. And Typical can't do. I mean, if I'm Typical, I'm going hard because there could be a caution, and I'd rather be the leader.
Yep, Clashing's in the booth. Hi, old Eagles. He's saying, "Hey, what's up with Clashing up in the booth?" Yep. Well, these are our leaders here. Typical in first, Favre in second, but pit stops are going to have to be made because it looks like, looking on here, that they've got about 7 laps of fuel left. So with 7 laps of fuel left, and this time by, they have
7 to go.
7 to go. So some guys can and some guys can't. I guess it just depends on who you are, but these leaders, I mean, you know, Typical's burning more fuel, obviously, by being out front.
So Favre is good. Yeah, Favre is good. He's saved a lot the last 3 laps, actually.
Are you on Favre's stream?
Yeah, I'm watching his stream.
All right. Does he have his? So he has his fuel thing up. Do you know he's good?
Yeah, he was a lap short, but now he's only like just turned 3 and 4 short. So I think he's good to make it.
All right. I want to check back in here with Flash. Flash is back here with a huge group of guys. This is right behind the leaders. This has got everybody else other than the leaders. This has got Pittman, Racer Rick. It's got Showtime, it's got King G, it's got Mini Golf, it's got Mucka, Shovelhead, pretty much everybody else battling here. Perky in the 14, that's Perky right now is at 11, Showtime Flash is at 10. So Mucka's in 9th right there, Shovelhead is in 8th, Mini Golf in 7th, and looks like King G in 6th, staggering right there in 5th. And Racer Rick looking to go underneath Pittman here. He's got the help of staggering in at 73. Racer Rick doesn't have any help.
Coming to laps to go, I believe.
A couple laps to go, so right now...
Favre needs to pass, like right now.
Yeah, let's get back on. I want to keep it on these guys, but I also want to check in with those leaders too, because those leaders are going to have to go here.
If that caution comes out, Favre is. I don't think Favre's going to win the race.
Hurricane Hall says, with the way the last caution fell, did they have to make one more green stop per the rule? No, I don't think so. I think they already completed their mandatory number of pit stops, I believe. So it's pretty much free game. And riding with the leaders here, they got that heck of a battle going on behind them, but now's where I wish I had that split screen thing. 2 laps to go, so there's 2 laps left. So once they cross here, These guys, once Typical and Far cross this line, we're going to take the white flag the next time by.
Yeah. One to go right here.
So we're going to find out if Typical has enough in the tank as the white flag is out. 1 lap to go at Kansas. Can Typical hold on? Here comes Favre sending it into turn 1. Side by side into turn 2, out of turn 2. Favre not able to get the momentum on Typical. If Typical starts, if he starts sputtering, it's over. If not, I think Typical's going to hold on to this win here. Off of turn 4, coming down Tri-Oval, it's going to be Typical to the line. Typical wins at Kansas with Favre in second. And these guys racing for third and everything else. What a race. Congratulations to Typical. Typical is the winner. Typical did get the win. He had just enough gas in the tank. But Typical gets the win. Favre in second. Staggering in third. Shovelhead in fourth. King G in fifth. Mini Golf in sixth. Showtime, KB Showtime in seventh. Mucka in eighth. J-Lam in ninth. And Swerve in 10th. And do you notice a name that's not in the top 10 there, Clashing?
Not in the top 10.
That would be Flash.
Not. Flash, yeah.
Flash got knocked out of the top 10. I know he got beat. I'm not exactly sure what happened. He was fighting back there in the middle. So we're gonna bring in these 3 guys here. Give me just a second, y'all, as I can get these guys going on, getting these guys up in here for a second and get some interviews. Give me 1 second. Alright, so Typical. And okay, now we need MFF Typical and Staggering. Yep, Staggering got 3. Yep, we saw it. We saw it. Alright, come on, come on. Yep. I can't find Typical. I can't get Typical or Staggering. Are they offline? There's Typical. Okay, I got it. Send Typical the invite. Okay, yeah, send me Staggering, please. These guys are on. You know, when they're on the on offline, it takes me forever, the screen forever to load to get them all in. Okay, so we're all in.
Good podium. Typical, good win. And the car also good. A lot better racing this week than last week. So, but awesome, good racing.
You said hit it the nail right on the head. Had a very, very good race. I thought it was an awesome race, man. It came down right to the end. Let's get to the third place finisher, and that is old Mr. Consistency himself, with another consistent run and a consistent finish. Staggering in the number 73, man. Congratulations on getting third place, man. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I think this is the first time I was able to get you up in your booth this year, so far this year, isn't it? Isn't it the first time up in the booth?
First time up in the booth.
Oh, congratulations, man. It's a pleasure to meet you, dude. I'm glad to have you up here. So tell me about your race, man. How were you able to pull out that third place, man? Let's talk about your race real quick.
Well, I was really fast. My car was really, really fast, on the long run especially. And, the only reason I got behind was because I actually stayed out too long on that first set of pit stops. So I fell back to like 12th, and man, they were fighting so hard in the back there. Like, I mean, there was no room for nothing. So I got lucky. A lot of people made little mistakes. That's really how I got my way back up there.
I tell you what, I mean, it was a much better race than considering the last week, man. And I kind of got to ask. There was that incident last week between you and the 12 car, and it looks like that you guys were around each other quite a lot tonight. When you saw that 12 car around you, I mean, I don't want to get into it or anything like that, but was there a little bit of nervousness? Is there, because there's a little history there? I mean, I know
With
you
one
didn't.
nine,
Go ahead.
with one nine, one
Yeah,
nine millimeter.
yeah,
You know, I didn't think too much about it because I never do anything on purpose.
right.
And so I was hoping that he raced the same way. And he did. We were pushing each other down the straightaways a little bit here and there. But, we were lifting in the turns, giving each other our space. I mean, last week was last week.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That's awesome. That's what definitely wanted to hear. And okay. So when you're in this, you're in stage three, and I mean, you saw that the first two guys were good. I mean, with that last caution that came out, did you have to go in a little bit of fuel saving mode, or did you use the draft in that pack of cars? I mean, what was your strategy? What were you thinking at that point when that last caution came out?
I went in. I knew my fuel gear was really fast too. I had to only stay in it for 5 laps to save 1 lap. So for 5 laps, I was in my fuel gear, and Pittman was in front of me a little bit, and I let him know I was getting out of my fuel gear, but he told me his tire was about to pop. So yeah, that was a little nerve-wracking though, because I wasn't sure. Because some of these guys, like Field Filler, Favre, you know, typical. On some tracks, they're almost as fast as me in their fuel saver. So I was worried about some of them being like just out of my league in the fuel saver, but it worked out pretty good.
Congratulations, man. I mean, I called you Mr. Consistency weeks ago because you're looking at the points there. I know that you've been up there in the points all week long, and you've just been finishing consistently, and here you are, getting a top three, with a third place tonight at Kansas, man. Hey, congratulations, dude. Keep doing what you're doing because I mean, you're right there in points and looking good, dude.
Thanks. I'm trying, and I'm doing my best not to step on too many toes doing it.
Oh, congratulations, man. A pleasure to have you up here and meet you and bring you up in the booth for the first time. And it won't be the last time, man. We'll definitely have you up here again, man. Congratulations on getting third tonight.
All right, thanks, man. You guys have a good night.
Always. And let's go on to our second place finisher, and that is in the number 4 car, and that is Favre. Favre, what? Another second place. This kind of talk about this one, man. I got to get your thoughts. What's going on inside your mind right now? Because last week you were in first and lost the lead on that last lap. Tonight you were in second, and you tried to send it in there in turn one there on that last lap, but just didn't have the momentum. Or did you just did not have not the momentum, or the fuel, or both? What was going on there?
Yeah, just a quick rundown of the first couple of stages. First stage, was out front and did all my saving in the first fuel run, so I was just able to go the second run. Ended up taking home P1 for stage one, and then stage two, Flash and typical pit the lap before I did, and I just from running last night, I knew how much just one lap of tires made a difference. So I decided to stay out, and Flash was, I mean, gone from me and typical, and I thought, well, I guess I'm fighting typical here. And I mean, I was driving really hard. I got pretty close, closer to the wall than what I normally do, trying to run Flash down, and I think he may have snagged the wall just a tad, and that might have, made me get closer to him than I should have. But
No, it was great racing. I mean, I knew it was going to come down to side by side between Flash and I, and obviously we made a little contact coming up off of turn 4, but appreciate him, letting off. He definitely could have chastained me and kept it held and put me into the wall, but there's a lot of respect there. And stage 3, was running up front the entire stage, and then that caution hit at the right time, and Typical got taken out earlier in that stage, and he just, with his pit strategy, was able to restart first on that last restart. And I was caught behind a couple of cars, and I knew I had to save. We get 20 to a tank, and if I run it in my fuel gear, I get 19. So I had to, in reality, save 2 laps of fuel. But I also knew that if I didn't catch Typical by a certain point, I wasn't going to have a chance. And I made my moves and got up into second place, caught up to him. Just tried to save as much as I could, and I did what I was wanting to do. And I ended up putting it back in my race gear with like 2.5 to go. And at that point, the tires are just so worn out. I was a sitting duck. I couldn't do anything unless he messed up and got loose off of a corner or mid-corner and gave me an outside line. There was no way I was getting around him, just for the tire aspect of it. Last week got away from me, but this week, I mean, it really didn't get away from me. I felt like I did the best with the cards that I was dealt. But overall, great race. Really good race compared to last week. So super proud of the guys tonight. I think we had 2 or 3 cautions the entire race, so that was really good to see. But huge congrats to Typical on his win. Huge bounce back from the beginning of stage 3, and I will see y'all in 2 weeks. Unfortunately, Darlington's one of my favorite tracks, and I'll be going to it, so I will not be here next week. So go get him again, Ty.
So you're gonna have the week off next week, and you're gonna actually be in South Carolina for the Darlington race. I tell you, I mean, with that, does that, knowing that you're not gonna be, you're gonna have to miss a race. Does that? I mean, I know you're kind of sitting pretty kind of in points and everything, but does that, kind of play any kind of factor into your, in the way the points roll and trying to get as many points tonight that you can before next week and having to miss a race? Does that ever play a factor?
Well, of course. I mean, if I could have swept tonight, I mean, that would have just been an extra 5 points. So, yeah, I mean, it's funny to say looking back at it, but I will be missing this race, possibly WWT, and possibly the Bristol playoff race. But that's in the playoffs. And I told Typical early on in the season, since I knew I was going to be gone for those races, that he could be the first one to beat me, to be a regular season champion other than me since I've joined the league. So I know it's probably coming, but Darlington's a bucket list race, Bristol's a bucket list race, and I got to go see my boy Perky down in St. Louis once a year. So I know it's coming, but I'm just trying to stay as consistent as I can and do the best I can. And if I don't get it, I mean, I don't get it. Regular season championship isn't an actual championship. I mean, it's all good and dandy. But as long as I'm there in the playoffs, and try to be there in the Final Four, that's all I care about.
Definitely, man. And hey, man, congratulations. Glad to have you. Always look forward to having you up in the booth, man. You already know I'm a huge, huge fan of yours. Um, I mean, real quick before we move on to the winner here, it looked like you really did have a winning car, man. I mean, at that time, there was that part in the stage, I think it was in stage 2, where you came out of the pits and you ran Typical down, and then you ran, was it, or no, you ran Flash down and you ran Typical down. Either way, but you look, when you hit that hammer down, man, it looked like that 4 car was rolling. I mean, did you kind of at the end there, I mean, you talked about trying to get around typical and everything else. I mean, if you had four fresh tires, typical had four fresh tires, and it was a drag race between you and he, who was coming out on top? Because it looked like you two were very, very dead even as far as your cars. But just out of curiosity,
I would
um,
I would like to think that I would have came out on top, but it's just all about track position and I knew I was just from running. I ran two practice races this week. The first time this season I've ran two, um, and I was super consistent. I think I won on Friday, and then Saturday I was trying to make some moves to see what my car could and couldn't do, and I ended up wrecking. But yeah, I mean, I would like to think that I would have came out on top, but like I said, it's pretty much all about track position. But I mean, it shoulda, coulda, woulda. If I would have been starting up there in second place next to typical instead of, I don't even know what I started, sixth. Um, maybe you'd be talking to typical right now, and I'd be next, and I don't know. It's what could have been, but huge congrats to typical. Thank you very much, Shady, for what you do every single week. And we were about halfway through the race, and I heard Clashin's name come up on there and start talking, and I just smiled like, hell yes. So great to have you broadcast with Shady Clashin. You are always more than welcome to hop up in the booth, and maybe one of these days I'll get to race against you again.
Yeah, maybe. No problem. I had fun tonight. Broadcasting with Shady. It's a good race. You're gonna hate how typical won the race. But you'll find that out if you do your research.
and let's just do that. Let's get on to the winner. Favre, man, congratulations, getting P2. We're gonna miss you next week at Darlington, but some of the guys down here might not miss you, but we'll miss you up here in the booth, man. Hey, dude, congratulations on getting second, dude, for real.
Appreciate you, Shady.
Always, man. And Clash, let's bring in that winner. Let's talk to this winner. I know we're kind of bitten at the teeth. Typical. You did it again, man. Congratulations, dude, on pulling this one out, man. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. Wasn't expecting that when I got taken out, but
All right, well,
I wanted.
let's go through that. Let's just, what was going through your mind when that happened?
Um, it wasn't what was going through my mind. It was what was coming out of my mouth. I got frustrated. Said some things I shouldn't have said. But Favre, good captain he is, he calmed me down and what got me to stay in the race and just keep going. And then I was getting split that last stage after I got taken out and I pitted, and then the caution came out, and I don't know, he put me out front. So that was just a clutch and lucky moment right there.
Okay, so give us your rundown. I mean, on the fuel there at the end. How much by the time that you crossed the finish line with the checkered flag? How much fuel did you have left in the tank?
Zero. The thing clicked to zero like halfway down the front stretch.
Halfway down the front
Come
stretch.
to,
So you
come to
were.
the line, like halfway to the line.
Oh wow. So you were any about if it was just like literally a second or two sooner, you would have been sputtering.
Yeah, probably. But I had a good enough gap to start saving early when I started out front. So, and I still had a good enough gap after even Favre got there. So I was even able to back it down even more than I had to. But I don't know. I barely even made it anyway. So.
Clashing, you got to go ahead. I want you go ahead. You have some question
Well,
that you want.
he already answered my question. I didn't know what he was doing in pit road, but if he was splitting it for that was his strategy, and the game blessed him with a caution.
Oh yeah.
His misfortune to be in that wreck, and then the game didn't give him a caution for that. But when he was in pit road, I went through as many streams as I could find. I didn't see a single wreck, so I don't even know what the caution was for still, but it saved his race like big time.
Yeah, it really did. Because I pitted because like somebody logged into me and I had front end damage, and I know I'm not going to make track position, especially there with damage. So I figured I'd just early pit and get clean air, get as much time back as I could.
And you did that just at the right time for that caution to come out, right?
Yep. But the first stage, What I get third, probably. Oh yeah, so Stagger got ahead of me after I got into the wall, and I was gonna do a side job, and I was halfway to it, but I didn't get it. He was about to get the momentum on the high side, but I didn't move down. But he came down and endured me a little bit, and it slowed him down more than it did me, and I probably beat him by a centimeter.
I mean, when things are working on your side, they are really working on your side, man. I mean, another win tonight. You're leading in the points, man. You're having, I mean, you're having a heck of a season. I mean, a heck of a season isn't even, the right way to put it. You're just having a phenomenal season. Is your season going as expected for you so far, or I mean, is it even? Are you taken back a little bit by the success that you've had this year?
No, it's going exactly like I thought it would. Flash and Favre, I think they got 3 wins each, and now I'm right up there with them. It's exactly how I imagined it would be. It's not easy to win against those guys, but I'm able to pull them off, man. And especially from last week where I threw away any chance I had of winning with the pitting and able to bounce back for this race, it really feels, it gets my confidence up there, man.
Well, you can, you've got to be floating with confidence, man. It is just a pleasure watching you, dude. I am a huge, huge fan of yours, man. I enjoy watching you, battling it out over an FTR, the FTR A League on Wednesday nights. I think you race on Wednesday nights over there. I mean, you've been having a great season over there with them guys. Now tell me, I mean, with those two leagues, I mean, you're being successful in both. I kind of been following because I'm a fan of yours. So I follow along. Um, does racing, I mean, do you use this race and kind of complement the other races that you're in other leagues like FTR, or do the races that you're in over there, do they kind of help you over here in FRR? I mean, is it kind of do you kind of use each one? I mean, is it kind of as a springboard type thing? Because the success that you've had is just absolutely just tremendous. It's almost love watching you guys in like a Favre success last year, winning five in a row, and all the wins that he's had. Just kind of, just kind of was kind of picking your brain here a little bit as far as all the experience that you get. Do you use one league for another, or you kind of use it all?
Um, not really. I feel like FR is a lot harder to win in, so I think I would take more experience from the FR side and apply it to the FTR. But I don't know. I don't think they really blend that well together. So I can't use one league for the other just
But
because of.
yeah, I mean, I meant as far as the experience
Oh
on
yeah,
those
yeah,
tracks, just as from the experience in itself, man. I mean, that because you're just having a tremendous season, dude, and congratulations. Just fun watching you, man. It really is.
yeah. Thanks, man. But yeah, the experience definitely helps with both leagues. So I think that's why I'm kind of a little bit more successful in both. But I don't know. I'm ready for the next race, man.
Speaking of the next race, give us a little insight, a little clue on to how you run at Darlington. Is that one of your look forward to tracks? Are we going to see you back up towards the front, or is that one that's that you're not fond of going to? Give us a little insight to you at Darlington.
I love the track. It's not a racing track. It's more of a solo track. But it all depends if turn two is pulling BS.
with the glitch here in turn two, you mean?
Yeah, if the glitch doesn't catch me, I think I got a good chance of winning.
Okay. Well, I think you have a good chance of winning pretty much every location, man. You're just having that kind of a season, and you're that good of a driver, man. It's just a pleasure watching you, man, for real.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. I'll see you next week.
Definitely, dude. And I mean, it almost feels early tonight. Kind of getting things done is, we're actually wrapping up here a little bit early. Clashin, thank you so much for coming up in the booth. B Nosy, I'm glad he was able to make it for a little while. He's been a little bit under the weather, so he checked out and went back to the recliner and watched the end of the broadcast. So Thank you for coming up in the booth once again and calling the race with me, man. I really appreciate you up here with me.
Yeah, no problem. I had a blast. Anytime you need me, just message me, and I'll see if my schedule's free.
Well, I'm going to keep you up on that, and B Nizzy, he's, he gets, unfortunately, knock on wood that, I've been able to stay awake. I guess I've had, over the past week, I'm able to make it, but, yeah, man, always my first call, if something happens with B Nizzy and he's not able to make it, so you're always my first call, so, anyway, really appreciate it, had a lot of fun. Want to thank everybody, tuning in tonight. We obviously aren't anything without you guys all tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff, and share the race. This was a good race. Congratulations for Typical on getting another win in the FRR Cup Series. He's having a heck of a season. I don't know if anybody, Favre, even he might be the one to take down the mighty Favre this year. We're gonna find out. But Typical wins again tonight at Kansas. Favre in second. And Mr. Consistency himself, staggering, comes home in third place. Want to thank you all once again. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And we are going to see everybody next week at Darlington. Everybody have a wonderful night, and see you next week.